Okay, guys, so here I'm going to go over the cat dissection page. Remember, that's under cat pages. It's the third page. And one thing I need y'all to do is I need y'all to decide who's going to be in the group starting on Wednesday. You can turn in a sheet of paper to Mrs. Camp and she'll give it to me tomorrow, or she'll leave it for me to, keep on Tuesday. So I need in periods 1 and 4, I need 3 groups of 5 people and 2 groups of 4 people. Okay. And in honors, I need the 5 groups of 4 people and 1 group of 3 people. Be very conscious when you break down into these groups who's going to be there and who's not, because there's be a lot of times when people are absent and somebody might be working by themselves and everything else. So be very conscious of that time wise, how y'all break down into the groups. So give those group names with everybody in your group to Mrs. Camp today. And then that way you'll know what group you're in whenever we start on Wednesday. Okay, why do we dissect cats? We dissect cats so that we can learn muscular and internal systems as they relate to the humans. And we use a blunt dissection technique. That means no sharp instruments such as a scalpel. I have a scalpel that I use to make the first incision, but I use it very rarely. Just make it the first incision. Then we use scissors and blunt probes from that point on. If you look over to the desk that's closest to the storeroom, you can see I have a tray out that has food handler's gloves, which I provide. If you want to bring in latex gloves, you can do them. You're responsible for them. A lot of people have latex allergies, so you have to be careful with that. Also, there's petroleum jelly there, and you can see a blunt probe and the scissors. Okay, so that's the instruments that I want you to have. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to line the paper with the trays, or I should say line the trays with paper. If you look over on the middle table, you can see I have paper towels arranged how I want them on the dissection table. And I also have beside it a book. Each one of the tables has one of these books in there. So you can look at it as you go through for muscles and organs. They have pictures and everything. Great resource right there at your fingertips that you can use. Okay, so what we have to do after we've lined our tray with paper towels, like I have it on the middle table, we have to remove the specimen from the bag by cutting the top of the bag nearest the hind limbs. So I'm going to show you what one of the bags looks like, and it's this. There's a seal right here, and that seal is what you want to cut right underneath it. You want to have as much bag as you can, and you can see that this is the hind legs right there. When you pull them out, you want to grab both of the hind legs and pull them out of the bag, but you want the bag to stay upright to conserve as much of the fluid as you can that's in the bag. Okay, so you grasp the hind paws in one hand, and then you gently place the specimen on the dissection tray lined with paper towels. The paper towels become wet, and that's important because you want those paper towels to become wet. Okay, place the bag in the sink upright. Keep the fluid in the bag. Do not pour it out. The more fluid you have in the bag, the longer, the better it is. It keeps the cat from drying out. Okay, also you can use petroleum jelly before putting on your gloves, that it keeps the smell off of your hands, and it also keeps the gloves closer to your hands too. The first thing I want you to do is to familiarize yourself with the external features of the cat on the dorsal, ventral, cranial, and caudal. Remember, dorsal is the back of the cat, ventral is the stomach of the cat or our anterior, And then we have cranial, which is the head or cephalic end in us, and caudal is the tail end. Also, to determine the sex of the cat, if you look on your bags, they will have the sex of your cat, and that makes it really easy. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to make a cut all the way through the skin, not to cut the underlying muscles, and I'll show you how to tell the difference on that whenever I make my first incision. And then you start to make cuts around it. Now, we will not be able to skin the cats the first day totally. This is a process that takes sometimes anywhere from 3 days to a week to get it all down. But this tells the order, and I'm going to have a picture up on the board as far as a diagram to show you how we go under each, but I'll tell you each day. So once we get the cats out and we start working on them, then we have to clean up every day. So every day you need to the first day you label the plastic bag, and every day after that you have to be sure that your label is still on the plastic bag. It has your group number and your group name and the period with a Sharpie. Okay, you wrap the cats up in the paper towels that line the tray. You want the wettest paper towels to wrap the cat up. If they're dry, then you throw them away. You always have wet paper towels surrounding the cat. You place the cat in the bag, this time head first, and you get all the air out of the bag. You don't want any air left in the bag. And then you tie it shut with a rubber band and you place it back in the box that is your designated storage area. That's where you'll pick them up on Wednesday also. You empty your dissection tray into the waste bin. You wipe it clean and rinse it under the tap. Now, I find it's better to use the Clorox. So what I would do is to go ahead and take the pan, place your scissors and your blunt probe on the pan, spray it down, wipe off those after it's set for 30 seconds, wipe them all down, place them back on the instructor desk where they belong, and now wipe down the whole area of the dissection table. Do not allow any of the materials to enter the drain. If there's excess hair or connective tissue or anything, it goes in the garbage bin. You return all the supplies back to their proper place, and you disinfect everything that you touch, the handles, the table, everything. If you look up on the top shelf, there's paper towels and there's the Clorox spray also for us to use. And that's diluted bleach. So remember that. Will always have diluted bleach, so you have to be careful as far as getting it on your clothes. And everybody cleans up and we're good to go. I will probably assign one group every day to be sure to check everything and to be sure everything's put back in its proper place. And that's what we're going to be doing every day, guys. Okay? Talk to you about grading and everything whenever I get back. And y'all have a great day. See you guys later.